Hello everyone, welcome to Teach CS Plus. Here we're gonna learn different computer science concepts by simplifying it. So today's topic is Introduction to Database and DBMS. So further we deep dive into what is database and what is DBMS. First we need to know what is data. Let's see what is data. Data refers to raw facts and figures. That's mean any kind of raw facts or figures that carries a value is called data. It can be numbers, it can be text, images or videos. Here is some example: student marks, employee names and many more. Any kind of raw facts that can carry a value is called a data. Now what is the connection of data with database? Let's see what is database. A database is an organized collection of related data. That's mean whenever we need to store data in some organized way or in a structured format, we need database. In database, we can store the data in a very structured format. Let's see, the second point is data is stored in a structured format. That's mean if we store multiple data, we're going to see the data stored in a very structured format so that we can fetch those data very efficiently and very easily. Allows easy storage, retrieval and management of data. Not only the data stored, the data is properly managed. We can manage those data. Like we can add some more records, we can modify some data if there is some mistake, or if we don't need some kind of data, if we don't need any data, we can delete it. So that's mean we can maintain or manage those data, and also it is a very efficient storage. Okay, so this is called a database where the data is stored in a very structured format. Now, characteristics of a database. Any kind of database will show these characters, like stores large amount of data. Whenever we need to store very large amount of data, we need a database. Database can hold a huge volume of data efficiently. Data is logically related. Data is organized in a meaningful and connected way. It's mean, let's say, as an example, if I want to store employee record of a company with some 50 to 100 records, I can easily store it very structured way, and the data will be very logically connected or logically related. Okay. Supports data sharing. Multiple users can access the same data. That's mean if I want to share some data, or if multiple person want to do some operations or want to check some data, it could be possible using a database. Ensures data consistency, keeps data accurate and uniform across the system. That's mean whatever data is in this system, in this database, it will gonna follow the same protocol the database has. Okay, each and every data, each and every record. That's mean the system will be very uniform for all kind of data or all the data that database has. These are the main characteristics that a database can show. If you want, you can take this as a notes. Now see, what is DBMS? What is DBMS? DBMS stands for Database Management System. So we already learned what is data and what is database. Data are those raw facts or raw figures that has some value, and database is the storage where we can store those data and maintain those data or manage those data. Now database management system is a software which is used to create and manage databases. Whenever we have multiple databases, we need to create or manage multiple databases. We need database management system. It is a software where we can efficiently manage those databases. It acts as an interface between users and data. Example, MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server. There are many more databases. If you can search in the internet, you will see there are a list of databases. Database management system. Those all are software used to create and manage databases. Functions of DBMS. Let's see what are the main functions of a database management system. Data storage and retrieval. As we already see, database stores our data, right? Database management system where we can see multiple databases. It also stores data and allows it to be accessed when needed. So whenever we need to check some records or we need to access some data, we can easily access it. Data security and authorization. Very, very important. Whenever we stored some data, we need to protect that data from unauthorized access. We don't want to be exposed our private or sensitive data. There are many sensitive data can be stored in a database, like some user information, company information, and many more. And we don't want to be that exposed in some unauthorized access or in some unauthorized into some unauthorized people. We don't want that to be exposed. So a database management system is that kind of software that can provide some data security. Okay, controls who can access and modify the data. Not everybody gonna access that. Okay, data backup and recovery protects data by restoring it after loss or failure. Let's say anyhow we lost some information of some employees of a company. We lost some data. We can take a backup. We can take a backup before that. If whenever we lost some data, we're going to restore those previous data. We're going to restore our databases with those previous data. We can easily do that. Okay, so restoring means already keeping a previous copy when the data is already correct or the data is present. So whenever, if anyhow we lost it, we can restore it from that previously taken copy. Okay, concurrency control. Concurrency control is allows multiple users to access data safely at the same time. That's mean multiple users can access that system at the same time but very safely. We don't need to worry about their safety. Okay, they can easily access that system. Need for database management system. Why we need that? We can store those data in anywhere else. Why we need database management system? To manage large volumes of data. Remember, we are not only storing it, we are managing it. It's mean we can efficiently modify some data. If we want to add some data, we can do it. Or whenever the data is not needed, we can delete it also. So this mean we are not only storing the data, we are managing the data. To avoid data redundancy, there are chances are less that same data will be duplicated in a database management system. If we keep duplicate data in our database, it just gonna waste our storage space, nothing else. So protect from that data duplicacy. Database management system has some provision to avoid data redundancy. To maintain data consistency. Data consistency is the same like The data, all the multiple datas in a database, all the multiple data in a database are gonna follow the same protocol, follow the same rules. All data should be maintained in a uniform way. Data should be followed in, all data will be followed in a uniform protocol. Okay, this is called data consistency. To provide data security. Data security means our sensitive data, any kind of data we stored in a database management system, that could be sensitive, could not be sensitive, all should be very secure. That's why we need database management system. It provides us a data security. To support multiple users. Multiple user can access database management system at the same time and do some checks in datas, or they can maintain or manage those data. So for multiple users, we need a database management system. Now see, what are the problems with file system? We can use the file system too. So what are the problems? First problem is data redundancy and inconsistency. Same data is stored multiple times, causing mismatches. As I already said, if same data or duplicate data is stored in multiple times, it just wasting our storage space, right? Difficulty in data access. Retrieving data is slow and complicated, right? Poor data security. Data is not well protected from unauthorized access. This is a concern. No proper backup and recovery. Lost data cannot be easily restored. This is why we need database management system. Data isolation problem. Data is scattered in different files and cannot be easily shared. That's mean data is not kept in a very structured way. Data handling could be difficult with that, right? So that's why with this problem we need database management system. Let's see how database management system solves these problems. Reduces data redundancy through centralized data. Stores data in one central place to avoid duplicate data. Correct? Provides efficient data access using queries. Now, query is a language where we can do some operations in our databases. Allow quick retrieval of data using queries. That's mean using query we can write some, query means these are some kind of SQL commands, which are we SQL are structured query language. This is the language we use to operate or do some operations in our data, like adding some data, modifying some data, or deleting some data. We can do that using queries. And data fetching or data retrieval, showing the data, is very easy in database management system. Ensures data integrity using constraints. Maintain accurate and consistent data using rules. We already saw that database management system provides data consistency. Means uniform rules are for all the data in a database. Provides backup and recovery mechanisms. Protects data by allowing restoration after failure. Let's say if anyhow we lost some data, we can restore it from our previous backup. Improves data security. Prevents unauthorized access to data. These are the problems which is already solved with database management system. Okay. Now see, what are the summary of today's lessons? Database stores organized data. That's mean database is a storage where we can store and manage our data. Data means those raw figures with some values. Now, database management system or DBMS manages and controls databases. Whenever we need to manage multiple databases efficiently, we need a database management system. This is a software to create and manage databases. It is literally essential for modern applications. Each and every website, each and every application use database management system to store data efficiently and manage it. So we already learned what is database, what is data, why we will use database management system. This is for today. If we want to if you want to learn any other topics, just let me know in the comment section. I will continue with that. Thank you.